Hello everyone and welcome back. Thank you for joining me again this week. I want to start off and thank you for taking the time each and every week to watch these videos. They take a while to film and to make and edit, and it just means a lot that you guys still take the time out and watch these. I can't wait for the days that we can all see each other again. I know I've seen a few of you here and there, either when you've been out on walks or I've met up with you guys at a park, but until we meet again, I cannot wait to see each and every one of your bright, smiling faces, and even some of you older people who I know are watching. I can't wait to see you again. And again, thank you. But let's start off with this time like we do every week. Let's light our candles so we can connect through the Holy Spirit, since we know we are not watching at the same time. All right, now that we are connected, let's review what we've talked about so far. A couple weeks back, we talked about baby Moses, who was put into a basket on the Nile River, and he was saved since the princess had discovered him, and he lived with the Pharaoh and was saved that way. Then, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the burning bush, how when Moses had left Pharaoh and he went to be on his own, because Pharaoh knew that Moses wasn't his son, the burning bush spoke to Moses, and it was God speaking through the burning bush, telling Moses what to do. And he told Moses what to do, which is what he did last week in our video, which was go to Pharaoh and say, let my people go. Let God's people go. And as you heard last week, Pharaoh kept saying no. He would not let God's people go. Well, at the end, he finally let him go. And that's where we're going to pick up today, because this is a very interesting story about what happens after Pharaoh lets him go. And you can find that on Exodus chapter 14, verses 1 through 30. And we only get one chapter this week. In our Spark Storybook Bible, you can find it on page 84. So again, Exodus 14, 1 through 30, or page 84. The Red Sea. It was a long journey leaving Egypt. The Israelites camped on the shore of the Red Sea. The people were feeling really nervous. Moses squinted into the darkening sky. Had he heard something? Something in the distance? Moses shook his head slowly. He did not trust Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to keep his promise. Do you think Pharaoh followed us? Aaron asked Moses, who stood listening. We'll see, Moses said. We'll see. Moses didn't have to wait too long. Soon, a growing cloud of dust rose up in the distance. A rumble of horse hooves thundered toward the travelers. They could hear them clearly now. Hundreds of Pharaoh's chariots charged towards them. Hundreds of soldiers followed with orders to bring God's people back. We're trapped, someone yelled. A strong wind began to blow. Cries went up from the people. Moses, they shouted, have you brought us here to die? Don't be afraid, Moses told his people. Stand firm, God is with us. Moses gripped his staff in his hand. Prepare to move, he shouted to the wind. Where, Moses? Aaron said. There is no place to go. Through the Red Sea, Moses said. God will make a way. Moses stood on the edge of the shore. He raised his right arm. He stretched his staff out over the white waves. The waters trembled and divided. The wind roared. Soon a wall of water stood on the left and on the right. Dry land appeared between the walls. A safe path to the other side. Move now, Moses ordered. How strange it must have felt to step onto a sandy path and go safe to the other side. How scary to to feel the spray of water waiting on the other side. Would God save them? Would God keep the promise to Moses? In the morning, Pharaoh's army stood on the Red Sea shore. They saw the Israelites safe on the other side. Soon the chariots groaned and the soldiers cracked their whips. Pharaoh's army moved slowly across the rocky, sandy path. "They will catch us," a young woman yelled. "Watch and wait," said Moses. Once again, Moses held up his staff over the walls of waves. Tons of water came trembling down. Horses and chariots and riders were all swept into the sea. From the safe shore came the sounds of singing and dancing, led by Miriam, Moses' sister. "Sing to the Lord," the Israelites shouted. "God has saved us." So Pharaoh did not keep his promise to Moses, and he went back to capture all of the Israelites and take back God's people. And as they were going, they got to the Red Sea and they felt trapped because they heard Pharaoh's army coming to take them. But they put their trust in Moses, and Moses used the powers that God had gave him by working through the staff and parting the Red Seas to both sides, and they walked right through to the other side. That's pretty amazing. That's a miracle in itself. I mean, I have never seen waters just part, but God worked through Moses to save his people. And a lot of times, we might feel trapped, and we might feel like we are going to be captured, and that things are going to consume us and take us over. But we need to let God do his work. Work through other people to part our troubled seas so we can walk through safely to the other side. It's a really hard thing to do because we like to control our own things, right? We like when we have control over who plays with us and sometimes how they play with us. But when those times get hard, put our trust in God. He will deliver us safely to the other side. Oh, at ya. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining me this week. Thank you for listening to all these great stories about Moses. We have one more to go, and we may or may not do that next week. I'm not sure quite yet. But either way, we will see you again later. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and have some fun outside this week. Take care, guys. Bye.